Hey, what's up? I'm going to talk about something else besides Metropolis for once. Post grad. Post grad, the longest standing plan I've had for a while now is to do a PhD. If I don't do a PhD and get a really good job out of the right out of college, then I can go do that as well. I'm fine with that. I talked to this really cool person, I think it was Waymo or Zooks, about how he was going to do a PhD, but he actually found a really great research position. And since the whole thing he wanted to do was research and the research aligned like one to one very well, then he just did that instead, right? And I think I'm also open to that possibility. Um, there's also just I think it comes an interesting thing with startups as well, which I've always seen as something where I just carry with me wherever I go. But I also think as more people join, that becomes a more complex equation. Um, so that's a conversation. But besides that, I've been thinking, where do I want to go post grad? I think it's an interesting question because the longest standing vision I've had for a while now is going to be SF, right? Just go to SF, um, or the Bay Area, right? And I love the people there. I love the people there so much, but I actually don't like the area that much, right? Like sometimes I see on Twitter people trying to make the Bay Area this thing, like how New York has this thing or Chicago has this thing. It's like it doesn't have this thing, right? Bay Area, I just can't see it having a thing. But I'm also just not that fond of California, to be honest, in terms of my experiences with it. But I do think if I was to do a PhD at Stanford, then that would be like the old, like, because Stanford has a really amazing campus. Like, I love it so much. But in the actual, like, city of SF, which I guess is different, it's just so dirty. And, like, it does ruin your mood. It does ruin your perspective. I really don't know. Another one I've always been comfortable with is Chicago. I just like the area. Like, I'm not crazy about Chicago, but I do think it's a very nice area. Um, East Coast, I would, or Maryland, I really want to do because I live in Maryland. I feel like it's, I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. It kind of just feels like you're not really gaining new knowledge or perspectives. It seems like you're just staying in one area the whole time. And of course, if there is like a really good research direction and a really good professor, then that would be the direction I want to like go in. But then I also just feel like with your life, you're meant to go journey and meet new people, gain new ideas, and you can't just do that by staying in the same place your whole life. Um, I know, but East Coast is not like it. It's not closed off to me. I think there's many amazing places in the East Coast that I would really love to go. Even abroad, like I've always been open to the possibility of Europe. I love Europe so much. I think um, I'm trying to think of ways to say something that like so because when I'm like talking, I'm always thinking, will this be used against me one day in the future? But I do think Europe always provides a nice relief from the stress of America, especially when it comes to walking. Like I really love walking, and America is just not a walkable place in general. Um, so I do love Europe. I can see myself doing post grad there. Um, so who knows? Who knows? But I do think it's a question I'm asking myself much more now, especially as I enter my junior year, because junior year is a tricky time because the internship you get your junior year is typically the one that's going to call you back, hopefully going to call you back and say, "Hey, come do full time with us," or you start preparing for your PhD applications in that summer, I believe. So it's like junior year is kind of like junior summer is kind of like the last time I can go say, "Hey, let me go explore a place and let me try and like choose this place," right? Because right now the places I've been are for actual like professional thing have been Pittsburgh, it's been Chicago, it's been San Francisco, and it's been Maryland, right? I may be forgetting one. I went to like Atlanta. I saw Georgia Tech for a bit, but I didn't do anything there. I think of those ones I've seen, really, Maryland and Chicago and Maryland and Chicago stand out the most. Like if I was just to be like if my most innate self was just to come out and say like I think Maryland and Chicago stand out the most. San Francisco only works if the place is better. I don't think it's going to get better in the next couple of years in terms of what I'm expecting from the place. But also, like I said earlier, if I'm doing research, that's not just based in San Francisco. It's like based in a campus area like a Berkeley or Stanford. Um, so who knows? Who knows? I'm also thinking about New York. I think New York would also be really cool to see if I could do that. So I think I want to try visiting New York one last time because the first couple of times I went, I didn't have the best experience, but maybe it changes and maybe there's something there in New York for myself. But TLDR, these thoughts are in my head, and as the next couple of months go by, I'm going to continue to think about them and try to see how it affects my direction and what I aspire to do and what I do do. Besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.